being in that industry for as long as you are, you can eventually get to the point where, yes, you're doing a good job, but you know there's a better way to do things.
Okay.
Right? You can sell a rate when you know dang well there's a better rate. Right?
Okay.
I came home a few times talking to Gina, and like I didn't feel right about it. Like it didn't sit well in my stomach. I sold them on a rate where I'm like, man, I could do so much better.
Wow.
So I knew I had to start a company. I knew that was something I was doing. Starting America First Mortgage from scratch, not having any partners. It's definitely been a way that we were able to help a lot of people, and we're able to help get a lot more people into homes who previously thought maybe they couldn't, or they've been told no.
You guys, welcome back to Access Las Vegas. My name is Sharelle Mendenhall, your host, and today I am beyond excited to introduce the couple that is going to be speaking about their business. But first, I want to let you know that one of these incredible individuals, and I'm going to let you guess which one, was my successor to Mrs. Nevada American. These two are dynamic, and we talk about powerful couples. It's not just powerful. They do incredible work every single day, and they have some wisdom to drop on you today. So Bill, Gina, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Sharelle. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
So which one of you was my successor?
Which was incredible. And obviously you set such a great example. And before I even competed, I didn't even know that was an opportunity for married women to be able to compete. So I felt like the entire experience was a gift. It was all green lights. I prayed every day, God, I just want to be where you need me to be.
Yeah.
I went through the highs and lows of totally excited, oh my gosh, what could this look like, to what did I just get myself into? Totally afraid. And it was beautiful. And I want every woman to know that it's an incredible experience, and it allows you to go on a personal growth journey and to be able to step out of your comfort zone. It helps you dig deeper into your faith and to who you are, and obviously the support of the people that love you. It was beautiful. So thank you too for your part in what you played for that for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And to watch your kids and your husband lose their minds when you won, like there's nothing that compares to that. Just like the love of the family that supports you. All right, we're not going to cry. Starting it off. So with that, I want to introduce you guys to Bill and Bill Merren. So you're incredible in and of itself. You did not win the crown. But something that I want to just jump straight in, because we don't have a ton of time on this, but America First Mortgage. You have a company. So tell people a little bit about you, what you do, and what is America First Mortgage?
Awesome. So thank you for having us on today. So America First Mortgage, a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I grew up here. I've seen the city change. I've seen it go from small town Vegas to what it's becoming now, which is really exciting. I am the oldest of four. My dad was in law enforcement. My mom did what she had to do to make things happen with four kids. And we had an amazing life, an amazing childhood. And growing up here in Vegas, it was great, right? We didn't really go to the Strip. That wasn't our thing. We lived in the desert. We were out catching lizards, riding our bikes, having a great time. Like typical 90s kids, right?
Yeah.
Like 80s, 90s kids out doing outside, right? And then in high school, played sports, was in athletics, graduated high school. I always knew I was going to serve. I always knew I wanted to go in the military. And then, 9/11 happened. I ended up leaving. I went, served for a little while. I came back, and I always knew I wanted to get in the mortgage business. I had a good friend of mine, one of my best friends growing up, great guy, great family. His parents were in the industry, and I saw kind of the life that they lived, what I thought was a life that they lived as a young single guy. And I saw some incredible things, and it kind of inspired me at a young age to go out. And I never was the guy to clock in and clock out. I haven't been, that's never been my thing. I've always wanted to be rewarded for how hard I worked. So I worked in the service industry, right? I mean, I was first I worked for my grandfather in construction, did that. He wanted me to hate it, which I did. He didn't want me to go down that path. And then I got into, while I was at UNLV, still in the Army, in the reserves, I started busing, serving, bar backing. I did all of that.
Oh, wow.
It was great. It was a lot of fun. But I knew that wasn't something I wanted to do forever. People would do great, but I knew that I had to do something different. And while I was in the Army, one of my buddies was telling me about what he was doing. And long story short, I got involved in the mortgage business, and that was 21 years ago. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And the reason why I specifically wanted you guys on right now is because there is so much noise in this space. Yeah. I mean, there are so many voices telling you buy, don't buy, mortgage is good, mortgage is bad, like the rates are going down, the rates are going up, this is going to plummet. Like there is so much noise. It's insane.
Yeah.
And everybody's an expert on it.
Yeah.
And and so I want to kind of dive in a little bit about the practicality, about the temperature of what is going on in the mortgage industry, and kind of what advice would you give people right now besides closing their ears?
There's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of noise out there about people still thinking you have to put 20% down to buy a house. It's just not the case at all. In most situations, unless you're an investor, you do not need to put down 20%. A lot of times there's down payment assistance programs for first-time home buyers, the people just getting started in life, or whether you just hadn't bought a home or owned a home in the last 3 years, you can get assistance to potentially help with the down payment and closing costs. For self-employed buyers, a thing I hear a lot, and it's something I'm passionate about, being a business owner. A lot of people just assume as a business owner, because you write everything off, you can't qualify for a mortgage, right? You think that you have to claim more on your taxes or do whatever. Hey, follow whatever your CPA recommends. But there's a lot of options to qualify with your non-QM loans, your non-traditional loans, bank statement loans. There's a lot of ways to get that done, as well as veterans.
Okay.
The veteran thing is something I'm extremely passionate about. And I promise any vets out there, no one is going to fight harder than my team, right? Yeah. We will fight to get you the deal, because there's a lot of people think it's easy on the VA side. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's the simplest deal out there. But there's a lot of times fights that we have to do with the VA to help the veteran qualify, to help the veteran get their certificate of eligibility.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways we can get that done. So if people want to buy, it's important to not just talk to your well-meaning parents or aunts or uncles or cousins or your friend at work. When it comes to making those life decisions, please seek counsel. Talk to people that have maybe some fruit on the tree, but talk to professionals and that are in the industry that is what they do for a living. A little bit about why I started America First Mortgage is I worked for 18, 19 years in what's called the retail mortgage space, to where they're the big mortgage companies, the big mortgage banks that everyone's seen, everyone knows, some of the biggest in the industry, and great people, phenomenal friends I made there, great relationships I built over time. Got to know the owners of one of the companies I worked at, amazing couple. Privately owned mortgage company, great people. But I did see flaws with the way that the business was being done. And I did for a long time, being in that industry for as long as you are, you can eventually get to the point where, yes, you're doing a good job, but there's a better way to do things.
Okay.
Right? You can sell a rate when dang well there's a better rate. Right? Okay. I came home a few times talking to Gina, and like I didn't feel right about it. Like it didn't sit well in my stomach. I sold them on a rate where I'm like, man, I could do so much better.
Wow.
So I knew I had to start a company. I knew that was something I was doing. So over about a 2-year time period, I just kind of sat back and acted like just a loan officer, but I was paying attention, building some relationships, getting to know other people, and went down the path of starting a company from scratch. Right? Starting America First Mortgage from scratch, not having any partners, being a little bit naive with how simple I thought that was initially. Yeah. But it's been great. Like it's definitely been a way that we were able to help a lot of people, and we're able to help get a lot more people into homes who previously thought maybe they couldn't, or they've been told no. So, okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's good. And the thing that leaps out to me is integrity. Like that, because you're talking about it, and you're like you walk home and you're like, you're not feeling good about it. You're like, you can help these people at a better place. Yeah. I think that is something that's missing in this space constantly. Yeah. Whether it's from start to finish, when you're talking about buying a home, dealing with a home, you have to try to search to find people of integrity. Yeah. So you just saying that, just it leaps off the page as to your spirit literally won't let you just sell them something.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was literally, because it was, again, great people, but it's a business. So I understand that now from my perspective, owning a couple companies now, but I understand that better. But there was so much fluff and so much margin that was built into things to where It just didn't make any sense anymore. And not only for my clients, but also thinking about future loan officers, people that are doing what I've done for over 20 years, giving them a space where they can have full transparency and not wonder how much this manager is getting.
Good. That's very good.
With technology now, you don't need all that.
Yeah.
You don't need middle management. I'm sorry, you don't. You might need one or two, maybe 2 people.
Yeah.
With technology, you don't need all that. So
right, and we're not sorry. We utilize technology where technology makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, and then you still keep the human element where you need the human element.
Yeah.
You know, which is the customer service, the front facing, and not losing that. And I think that's one of the biggest things. It should be a partnership. It should be a collaboration. Yep. But the human element should never go away. Right. So are you involved in America's First Mortgage? And if so, tell me, what is your role?
So my role in the company, obviously Bill and I, we love working together, and the journey of him starting the business, we always knew that we wanted to own. We live in the greatest country in the world where we have the opportunity to own.
Amen.
Not everywhere allows you to do that, and you have the ability to create wealth and to set up and help future generations and take care of the people who came before you, who come after you.
Yeah.
So we were inspired by that, and obviously Bill has a history in the mortgage industry, but for me to come alongside him, we have 4 boys, so my full-time role, that my biggest dream is my family. Yeah. There's no job title greater than being that of a wife and being a mother.
Amen.
So I'm grateful for Bill to give me the choice to be able to be full-time with them, and I homeschool all 4 of them, which wasn't originally my plan.
So brave.
But my role in the company is I help do the payroll.
Okay.
So it allows us to not only be able to serve our individual parts of in our own family life, but it also that allows us to be able to work together towards the common goal and dream that we have for our future, and to paint a picture and show our boys that, hey, like, this is something available for you too. What part could you play in this? Because this is not just for us. This could be for you as well.
Yeah.
And so they get to see the element of mom and dad also working together. I get to be there with them for all of those important moments, but they also get to see that aspect of it, and they play a part in it as well. We've got 2 of our boys who
the best looking cleaning crew in town.
Yes, they come
the most handsome janitors in the world.
So it's a family experience, and of course, America First wouldn't be what it is without the incredible team that comes and works alongside Bill every single day. I mean, we are so blessed to have
amazing group
the most amazing people that work with us. So, you know, that's my role, is I mainly do that. That's a little bit of my background before we met. Was I did payroll for a government contractor, and so I had experience in that. Stepped away from it for a long time, and then once we started the company, then I came in and I went right back into that role.
It's also evolving into helping with a lot of events. Planning, you know, a lot of the fun stuff, because a part of the mortgage business is it can get kind of stale. It can get kind of, you know, just day in, day out. But we want to make it fun. We want to make it fun for our clients. We want to make it fun for our business partners and people that work there, right? So we're starting to do a lot more events. So a lot of people will see those starting to come up here pretty quick. And Gina has a big part in that. So
well, and operating in your strengths. I mean, you have to. People have strengths and everyone has weaknesses, and when you operate in your strengths, and one of my strengths I feel like is the ability to be able to connect and communicate with people, build relationships. I love people. That's an area of comfort for me. I like to be able to have reasons to connect, and so I think that kind of helps in the dynamic of drawing people in and being like, hey, we like them.
That's so good. Again, just like leaping out as you guys are having a conversation, we talk about the American dream.
Yeah.
You know, people coming over, living the American dream, but it has become throughout time something where something has to be sacrificed. Your marriage, your family, you know, all these things. If you start a company, you have to be so consumed with it that your family's going to suffer.
Yeah.
And so, you know, as you guys are just speaking, like, I think that there's such a beauty in not putting the pressure on, hey, both of you must be, you know, C-suite level. You must be the, you know, like, it's like, in order to be the TikTok, Instagram type of couple, you know, you have to be, you know, building your own vertical in order to have some sort of validity. But in reality, we can actually do the role that God's called us to that's in our hearts, and then we're the most happy.
With authenticity, I think, is the big thing, right? Not having fake Instagram followers or having these different things that are not legit. That's super important to me, because I think that over time, especially as things evolve with social media, with video, with AI, it's going to be very easy to pick out things that are not authentic and the ones that are. So that very important for me is we evolve and invest heavily into technology with our companies.
Right.
That we keep the authentic part of us authentic. So.
Yeah.
And I think too, it was the intentionality with who you surround yourself with, and we've been blessed with obviously incredible family members, friends, and mentors in our life who said, hey, like success should be measured in one area of your life. It's not just the financial aspect.
Yeah.
It's every area of your life, starting with your faith, starting with your marriage, because you could make $1 million a minute, but if you get divorced and your kids have no respect for you, is that really success?
Yeah.
And
that's the question. That's really the question.
And today, somebody put it to me one time, the belief in preserving the sanctity of the home, because that is the basis of all society. And so today we see a lot of husbands going this way, wives going this way.
Yeah.
They're building separate goals, dreams apart from each other rather than building something together.
Getting back to that semblance of strength within the home, to where it's not like, hey, we're two ships passing in the night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You're building you, and then at some point we meet and have a date night, and then post it on Instagram. That's right. But something that's real. Like you said, authentic. And I want to go back to that. But so moving on, because again, this is such a space where I truly, again, I even feel inundated, with, what it is, what is right, what is true. Yeah. What is the truth about the rates right now? Are they all over the place? Are they secure? Is this a great time to be buying? Is this a great time to be refinancing? Tell me a little bit about the practical temperature of what we're doing right now.
So everyone's situation is different.
Okay.
That's the truth. It might be the right time for you to buy. It may not be the right time for her to buy. It just depends on your situation. If you can buy and it makes sense for you to buy a home, it's usually better to buy a home than rent a home. Mm-hmm. Because if you're paying rent to someone, and there's a lot of very big influencers online that talk about renting. Mm-hmm. Hey, great idea, bro, if you already have your millions and millions of dollars and you're financially set.
Yeah.
For young couples, I think one of the biggest mistakes that they make is following a lot of these people on social media that have this advice that don't have any vested interest in them whatsoever.
Yeah.
I would recommend that to again seek out professional counsel, reach out to myself, reach out to my team, reach out to someone else that you trust, and get some actual opinions and compare both options, renting versus buying, and where you'll be 5 to 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
So it is definitely it's not as easy as that. It's not just a black and white, right? If anyone says they know where rates are going to be a year from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, they don't. The consensus is that they're generally going down, but not to where they were during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see that again. Mm-hmm. I hope we don't ever see that again, because that caused a massive problem with the prices just jacking way up. If you go down to the twos again, the prices are going to continue to increase. Yeah. So I do believe over time, real estate's one of the absolute best tangible investments you can make with your money.
Yeah.
Over 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that asset is going to increase in value. Yeah. So it is a very good long-term investment. I don't believe there's anything else like it.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And something I think that it's important, just like in this conversation too, because I have constantly operated under assumption. Yeah. And then you have conversations and they don't know that after a year, they're 10 years in and they're at this variable rate and they're just drowning, in interest. Yeah. And they don't know that they can actually go back in to someone like you.
Yes.
America First Mortgage. Yes. And say, hey, can you do something about the rate? I have equity in my home. So tell me a little bit about that. Is there a minimum? Can you do it a ton of different times? So just again, I want to go back to the practical, like education.
So if you have a mortgage and there's many different reasons to refinance, like you're talking about. Yeah. Maybe you got a bad loan. Maybe it was a great loan at the time and now it's adjusting and you want to fix that rate so you can plan out your future. You can absolutely refinance, get a fixed rate. If you have what's happening a lot right now is debt consolidation.
Okay.
So if you have higher rate credit cards, if you have a lot of debt you need to consolidate and your credit cards are up in the 20s, that mortgage rate in the low 6s or maybe high 5s is looking really attractive. So refinancing isn't just to refinance and get out of an ARM to a fixed. It also can be more of a debt management option to where you can refinance that high rate debt get it in your mortgage, spread it out, lower that rate, and get a much, much more manageable monthly cash flow.
That's actually a very good point. I love that, because it feels like the bankruptcy, and all these things just become this option because you feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
And so to your point, you have this asset, you have this real estate, you have this piece, and you can make these adjustments, put it all together, and you can actually start getting ahead of life again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing that I don't think people are talking about enough.
Yeah, and also another option too is HELOCs, right?
Yeah.
I think we've talked about those. HELOCs are great options. They're can be a temporary fix to a big problem that you might have. If you have a lot of equity, you might have a rate in the 2s.
Yeah.
Home equity line of credit.
Yep.
So a home equity line of credit is where you have access, you have equity in your property. You don't want to refinance your rate on your mortgage because you have a really good rate. You might want to just take out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, take that money out, and you can use that for whatever you want. Consolidating debt, rehabbing your house, getting a pool, buying an investment property. There's a lot of things you can do with that, and they're not that difficult to qualify.
Right. And I think that that's really important. It's just like those little pieces of information that are super practical. They're not hyped up on Instagram. You're supposed to do this, then flip this. And then, it just seems like this spiral when we're talking about real estate, when it is, hey, let's buy a home. Let's get it at a good rate. If it's not at the rate you want it at, or it's going to be adjustable, then let's make some changes a year down the road. But just to be practical with our finances. And I really think that that's what's missing is being practical. Let's be logical and let's start stewarding what we have to be able to pass this on to the next generation. That's right. There's some people have that aspect, but across the board, it just hasn't been something we even teach in our schools.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy.
That's right.
And so just like as I'm having conversation, I can't wait to have this episode because I want people to thrive.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like when you're under so much financial pressure constantly, then there's stress in the marriage, there's stress in the home, you have to go get more jobs. It's like, I don't want that to exist anymore.
Yeah.
I want people to have the peace of God and also the blessing of God.
Yeah.
So finances isn't the only blessing of God, but it's one of them.
It helps.
That's true.
It's one of the blessings of God. And so I want people to learn how to steward what they've been given well. So to kind of close, because when we had kind of some back and forth before we got to this conversation, you were talking about the success and kind of like the closing and your moments that you wanted to share about what that is. So I want to give both of you the opportunity to share it.
The vision of the company is to be a national brand. Right?
Yeah.
That's the vision for what we're building. We're not, we love helping here in Nevada, but the vision is to be a national brand. We're currently getting licensed across the country.
Oh, wow.
We help a lot of people in a lot of states. So if you're watching this, if somebody out there sees this, please reach out. We might be able to help. The reason that we started the company was there had to be a better way of doing business, but if there's a way to get a deal done, we figure it out.
Yeah.
My team is the best in the business with figuring out ways to get tough deals done because if it's possible, we will figure it out and we'll make it happen.
So good.
Yeah, I mean that's what gets me excited, right?
Yeah.
I don't like being told no.
Yeah.
I don't like our clients being told no, that they can't get their dream home.
Yeah.
If it's doable, we figure it out.
Yeah.
I have to say that's one of Bill's strengths. I've had many years of observing him work in his element, and I feel like he gets this from his dad too, as they're professional solution seekers. Like they almost to a fault, they have to figure it out. And he's known and sought out because he's so good at it.
Yeah.
And I believe that that's just an element that sets him apart.
That's so good. And then let's talk about the logo. It's beautiful. I have it on a hat. So now I want to know what is behind the logo.
The reason for the logo is to remind myself, to keep me humble, to remind employees the sacrifice other people have made, right?
So good. It's immovable. So Gina, you talked a little bit about, the pageantry and success and what that meant to go through all the different pieces. If you could give anyone watching right now just a piece of advice, whether it's as a wife, as a mother, as a business owner, as a partner, what would it be?
I would say as a woman of strength, obviously, what roots me is obviously my faith. We're rooted in our faith. I feel like if anything's going wrong or is off, that's always the place that you go back to because it's the place the source of strength.
Yeah, amen.
To stay true to yourself, to know when to say no when you can't do it all, to give yourself grace. It's about being in progression, not perfection.
Yeah.
I fall short all the time, every single day. I can't tell you how many times I'll go to bed at night and be like, oh, I could have done that better. I could have handled that better. And I think that that's a misconception too. If, being a Christian is people think that that means that you have to be perfect, and we're not. We are not. None of us are. And that's one of the things that I love so much about being somebody who knows who I am and whose I am.
Amen.
And we know where we're going.
Yeah.
And to be able to do life with somebody where we have a common goal that we're both striving for together, and that we're modeling for our boys what it looks like to be a couple, to be business owners, to be people of faith. And ultimately, they're going to be adults one day in this world too, and we want to raise good men.
Amen. So good.
Yeah.
And what about you, Bill? It's like, if you could give anybody watching advice, whether it's on success, whether it's on life, whether it's on business, what would your advice be?
Having integrity and following through, right? Being consistent with not only how you present yourself online, but how you actually treat people, right? And understanding success doesn't happen overnight, no matter how overnight it looks online. You have to understand, to be successful, you're going to have to be willing to do what others are not.
Yeah.
If you are totally content with your situation and what you have going on, and just doing what the masses are doing, all good. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have a burning desire, like I have since I was a kid, to do more,
Amen. Yeah.
you're going to get resistance,
Same.
right?
Yeah.
You go against the grain, you're going to get pushback. You're going to get, but you have to just keep going.
Yeah.
Don't quit. Don't beat your head up against a door that's never going to open. Eventually understand that, like, sometimes one door opens because God opens another.
Yeah.
Sometimes one door is slammed shut or kept shut, and God opens up another door for a reason. So it's important to notice that, to see that, and to realize that there is a way to make things happen. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there and keep putting one foot forward, one foot after another, and listen, right? Because
so good.
If it's God talking to you, you should probably listen.
Yeah, that is so good. And I love that. And you said it, in so many words, but just like as far as the integrity portion, the success, and never giving up.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. And it's just like, if you have a passion inside of you, don't turn that off. Yeah. Because too often, like, we turn off our destiny, and then we wait, and then we think it's too late. But hey, if you have this passion inside of you, be practical, do the research, put together the plan, and put everything you have in it, not part.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where people also, tend to find themselves stumbling or failing, or thinking they're not going to encounter resistance. Let me tell you, resistance exists.
Yes.
But it makes you stronger.
Oh, yeah.
It makes you stronger. Yeah. And now I think I'm also inspired. Never, ever leave a solution on the table.
Don't take no for an answer.
Don't take no for an answer. So where can they find America First Mortgage?
So America First Mortgage, you can find us online, americafirstmortgage.com. You can actually scan this QR code right here that's on the screen that they'll pop up. It's got all my information. You can reach out to me, ask me any questions you got. Find us on Instagram, social media. We should be on all the socials. I'm learning TikTok, so you'll see us on there as well.
Let's go. Well, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate you joining. You guys, this was more than a discussion about mortgage rate. This was about life. This was about success. This was about family, and also honoring those who give us the ability to do what we love every single day. So thank you to every single one of you who has served, who has been part of that group, who's been part of the family. So I just thank you. I honor you. And I'm thankful for our beautiful country, America. Thank you for joining us on Access Las Vegas.
Access Las Vegas is hosted by Sharelle Mendenhall. Follow her online at Sharelle Mendenhall. Thank you to Bill and Gina Merren for being our guests on this week's episode. Scan the QR code to connect with Bill and find out more about America First Mortgage. Follow us on social media at Access Las Vegas and at CTN Vegas.